Hello, this is Coding Gicha for full-stack developers. So far, I have covered how to implement database handling in PHP using PDO MySQL. PHP can easily handle databases using only PDO without the need for a separate OR module. In particular, it strongly supports prepared statements to prevent SQL injection. However, there is a constraint that associative array keys must start with a colon. Additionally, there is the inconvenience of an error occurring if the number of bound variables does not match the number of tokens. I will create a function that takes a standard associative array as input and converts it into an associative array suitable for prepared statements. I will loop through the standard array using for each, append a colon before each key, and return the result as an associative array. As mentioned earlier, an error occurs if the number of bound variables does not match the number of tokens in the SQL query statement. I will allow specifying the keys to be bound from an associative array that does not have colons in the keys. If the keys to be bound are not passed as parameters or are empty, I will use the existing logic that converts all keys in the associative array passed as the first parameter. If the keys to be bound are passed as the second parameter, I will loop through them and store only the values of those keys, prefixing them with a colon. While the associative array passed as the first parameter will mostly not have colons before the keys, if multiple SQL queries are executed simultaneously, the tokens may differ for each query. However, creating an associative array with different bindings for each token is cumbersome and messy. It is more convenient if you can set only the keys to be used in the associative array bound to all tokens. When an associative array with colons prefixed is used as the first parameter, the keys to be bound in the second parameter must also have colons prefixed. The keys to be bound set in the second parameter may not be present in the first parameter. I will modify the code to convert only the keys present in the first parameter. Even when using only the first parameter, I will ensure that the colon prefix is used appropriately depending on whether the key starts with a colon. I will now actually apply the stmt params function. I am appending colons to the keys of the JSON params associative array and using them as binding associative arrays for SQL queries. Currently, there is only one key, but if there were multiple keys, I would have had to manually append colons for each one. The stmt params function will save you the trouble of this conversion. If more keys are bound to the JSON params, you can set the keys to be bound through the second parameter. In this case, since the number of tokens matches the number of keys to be bound, the second parameter is not necessary. Thank you for watching.